Hey guys, it's Jonathan. Welcome back to the channel, Firebox Campaign. Earlier in the week here, I did a review on a CZ PO7. I really like this gun. I love the way it feels in the hand. I love the way it shoots. The ergonomics are fantastic. I went over a couple things I didn't like about it though. One of them being that double action trigger. To show you the trigger weight in double action. I have a Wheeler trigger pull scale here, and this only goes up to 8 pounds. And they said about 10.5 pounds on the video. What you can expect from this out of the box, but I feel like it's even heavier than that. So when you pull it, it's not broken yet, and it's already maxed out on the scale here. Once it starts to, there it is. So like I said, 8 pounds, it's already maxed out, probably closer to 9. They said 10.5, I'm gonna say 12. I don't have a digital scale. That would have been nice though if I did. However, in single action, excuse me, we're back down to 0. Go ahead and give this a nice pull, and it breaks right about 4 pounds. So that was 4.5. We'll do one more because I have gotten 4. Maybe it's just the time I did it here. I don't know. So one more here, right to the wall, and break. Yeah, just a little over 4, 4.2, 4.3, somewhere in that area. So just over 4 pounds in single action. So if I can reduce that by 50%, smooth it out. Because again, double action here, if you can see, is very stacky. It's like a break all the way through it. It's not very pleasant. Single action is a little bit better. You've got a little bit of a mush there. You hit kind of a rolling wall, and then as it breaks through, it snaps in just at that 4.2, 4.3 pound mark. Let's put this aside for a second. This is the kit that came from MCARBO. For those of you that care about packaging, it's packaged up pretty nicely. I've already opened it and bought everything out. They are a military-based company. They support your veterans. It says, "Welcome to the MCARBO Brotherhood, veterans, police officers, and Second Amendment patriots." That's us. So I think this is a pretty cool little welcoming gift, welcoming package they send you. I'm not going to read this whole thing to y'all. I've already read it. And they do include on the back kind of a ballistics chart there, distance and bullet elevation, which is kind of cool for different grains. So just something that they send that they don't have to. So that's a nice little added bonus there, and that's for all sorts of grains and different bullets. But getting on to exactly what did I order. I ordered from them a punch set because I needed a couple for this job. I also ordered a polishing kit from them. This is a nice little kit. It comes with some polishing wheels for your Dremel. Comes with some polish here and a microfiber towel and some gloves. So everything's ready for you to go ahead and start polishing up those internals on there. The kit itself has a bunch of different springs in it. It comes with a little, I don't know what grit size it is, at a 8,000 grit sandpaper, but it comes with a firing pin spring, a sear spring, a firing pin block spring, a trigger return spring, firing pin retaining pin, and a hammer spring. So it's got a lot of parts in here. There's other companies that sell this stuff too that don't include all of this in their kit. So this is actually a nice little kit here. Okay, so the first step of this installation process was to remove the firing pin spring, the firing pin block stop, and the firing pin block stop spring as well. I've already done that process. This really wasn't that hard to come out once you take out the firing pin retaining pin. This comes out relatively easily. But the first step of this process was to polish the firing pin block stop itself. You can see how it's got a more chrome look to it now, or lighter color than the rest. It was black before. You take that 8,000 grit sandpaper, and again, this is all on their website, but you take that 8,000 grit sandpaper, put a little grease on it, and it's more like a wet sand, and then just lightly go over it until you're happy with it. When I first did it, I ran my fingernail across it a little bit, and you could feel the grittiness. This just is going to aid in that smoother trigger pull. So I'm going to keep working, guys. I'll keep you updated as soon as I get to another stop. This was the firing pin retaining pin that they were talking about, and this is the one that came in the gun from the factory. And you see that little notch right there? Mine's not too worn in, but they're saying that on a lot of these, theirs is that can actually get dented and damaged in there pretty good. So that's why they send one with theirs. I haven't taken it out yet because I don't want to install it yet, but that's theirs right there. And they're saying that theirs has 10,000 pounds of tensile strength. So compared to this one, I guess it's way better. After a little bit, I got this lower finally taken apart. Really wasn't that complicated. You just got to watch the video on MCARBO. He walks you right through it. So now that this is disassembled, I can get to doing a lot of polishing. So I'm left with my my hammer and hammer bar. I'm left with my trigger bar. I'm left with my shear, and I'm left with I forget what this piece is called. Firing block disconnector, I think is what it is. This is pressed together when I took this apart. But this little bushing right here, it's hard to see, actually came off and I lost it on the floor. It took a little while to find. He said it was pressed together, but mine came off pretty easy. So just be aware maybe of that when you do it. But these are the pieces, not all of them. These are the pieces that we're going to be polishing. So on the trigger, we're going to be polishing the face right there, right here, where that rubs against the shear. We're going to be polishing parts of the shear. I think just mainly the top. I think I'm watching the video as I go through this, and then also the trigger bar. So those are the only parts we're going to be polishing. So I'll be back once I'm done with that. I'm done polishing. It's going to be kind of hard to see on camera, but I got the trigger bar polished up pretty good. It looks, I wouldn't say mirror finish, but I think it's good enough for what I'm going to be doing with this MCARBO kit. All the rough edges are gone. It's nice and smooth, buttery smooth almost. The one part of the hammer that they had me polish up right here was the top portion where the shear mates up to the hammer. And it's this, it's that under portion there that slides on top. So I polished all that under portion as well. Looks pretty good. And that's actually what contacts there. So those two surfaces are, well, they're, yeah. There's no grit there, nothing at all. So that should be nice and buttery smooth. And also, I believe this is the trigger bar disconnect. I polished that up just a touch. He said it wasn't super important, but I went ahead and did what I could anyways. So now that all the polishing is done, I can get this reassembled. Pray for me because from what I've heard, it's not exactly the most fun process on a PO7. But I'm going to give it a try, get this thing back together. All right, guys, so I just want to take a little break from reassembly. So what I've done so far is I've gotten the hammer spring back in. I've gotten the hammer and the trigger disconnect back in. The trigger spring is there, and I've gotten the lighter trigger spring that comes from MCARBO reassembled already inside there. But you can see the polishing that I've done right there on the hammer and the trigger bar. It's shining pretty nice in there, guys. So I'm really excited to see how this if this really smooths it out as much as they say it will. Again, I've got the new springs in, so still got some work to do. So I'm going to keep going. If you've never done one of these before, guys, this was a pain in the royal ass. The decocker assembly going through there was really difficult to put back on. Doable, but if you're worried that your mechanical skills aren't adequate, they do have a service. You can pay to send this to MCARBO, and they will install all of this for you. But let's get the slide back on, and let's function test this trigger. All right, so all that is said and done, I have finally installed the MCARBO kit, spring kit. It took me a good bit to do. It wasn't the most pleasant experience, I'm going to be honest with that. Like I said before, if I didn't say, they do offer a service. You can send it off to them and they'll do it for you just with a fee, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and do, let's ghost this trigger here, right? This gun is still clear, just FYI, everybody. I don't want anybody freaking out pulling the trigger. All right, so double action. Still a little stacky. Still pretty heavy. Is it better? Maybe a little bit. Do I notice a huge difference? No. Single action. Reset. Got your mush. Hit your wall. Still a rolling wall, but I tell you, single action, Does feel pretty good. You got a little bit of mush, a rolling wall, and it breaks pretty light. Let's go ahead and do pound test. But like I said before, this only goes up to 8 pounds here, so it's not going to be the best test on this because last time it overshot it overshot it. So anyways, pulling. Feel a lot. Still hasn't broke. We are over the 8 pounds already. So did it lower it? Not on my scale. The last one was still over 8 at the beginning, and we have now the single action pull. What do we got? All right, 3 pounds. So we went from 4.2, 4.3 to 3 pounds. So that's almost 1.3 pounds lower on single action. Let's try that again just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Yeah, just over right around 3 pounds. So it definitely lightened single action. Double action, not so much. Single action feels pretty good. And we've got another one right at 3 pounds. Okay, what do I think? Do I think it was worth it for the amount of time it took me to do it? No, I don't. Am I glad I did it? Sure. It was experience. It got me to know my firearm better. And honestly, that's more important to me than upgrading parts. I really like to know things in and out and how they work. And this gave me a better understanding of what CZ does to it and the engineering that goes in behind it and the complexity of its inner parts. Again, if you've never tried it, if you feel like you want to, go ahead and check them out. They do a great job. So MCARBO, thank you. I don't know if I'll do it again. If you guys have any comments, put it down in the description below. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry this is a tabletop kind of boring review, but it was my experience, and I hope you got something out of it. We'll see you on the next one.